Alright guys, thank you so very much for tuning back in. Today what I want to do is I want to give you my top 5 takeaways from the Arizona Cardinals versus the Dallas Cowboys first preseason game of the 2021 season. Now let me tell you one thing right now, the 2021 rookies showed up. Very excited to talk about the ones that really showed up, guys. Let's go ahead and roll that intro. Alright guys, welcome back in. Now, like I mentioned in the intro, today what I want to focus on is my top 5 takeaways from the Arizona Cardinals versus the Dallas Cowboys game yesterday. First preseason game, but before we get started, definitely do me one huge favor. Smash that like button. It helps out the channel grow tremendously. And subscribe if you have been hovering over this channel for quite some time. Subscribe, put your post notification bell on as well, just so you're aware of when we drop the next video and when we go live. Without further ado, let's go and just jump right into it here. Not including my 5 takeaways, but something that I was really sad about yesterday was not being able to see Kyler Murray. I believe a few hours before our preseason game started, we ended up getting word that Kyler Murray, J.J. Watt, obviously he's still in the PUP list, D-Hop, AJ Green, Budda Baker, Chandler Jones will not be playing in this game. And it makes sense. I know they're trying to keep them healthy, so I'm not going to really cry too much about it. Would I have loved to see them, in preseason, at least for a couple drives? Absolutely. But I have some high confidence that maybe in the second game or maybe even the third game, we might see a little glimpse of what Kyler Murray and this offense can do. So for my very first takeaway, I want to go ahead and say Christian Kirk had a pretty amazing catch. Now, granted, it was only one catch, one reception from Colt McCoy, but it was a really awesome throw. 34-yarder, it was completed on the Cowboys cornerback, which is really amazing to see. Now, focusing a little bit on Christian Kirk here, I think it's really obvious that he needs to show out, have a breakout season this year. We drafted Ronald Moore, which, he looked really good in preseason, but this guy is one of those players that this season is really going to define if he's going to re-sign with the Cardinals or if he's even going to have a career in the NFL after this season. So honestly, that catch was really amazing to see. But one thing about Christian Kirk is his consistency. He definitely has some flashes in some games like the Tampa game and the Cowboy game, but the other games in the season, he kind of goes away and falls asleep and doesn't really do very much. So we need to see more consistency from Christian Kirk, but this was a step in the right direction. Now, the other wide receiver I want to go ahead and give a big shout out to is going to be our second rounder for the 2021 draft. Ronald Moore showed up today, and it was really exciting to see for future games ahead of us. Now, keep in mind, it is preseason. It is Colt McCoy. So we didn't have AJ Green. We didn't have, D-Hop out there, but still, it was really exciting to see flashes from Ronald Moore. Now, I think it was obvious what the Cardinals were trying to do this game. They were trying to display his talents, not only to the fans, but to the coaching staff this game. He was involved in the running game as well as the passing game. He had 2 carries, 16 yards, 3 receptions, 23 yards, and when he had the ball, he seemed pretty explosive. So I'm really excited to see what Ronald Moore can do for the Arizona Cardinals moving forward. But I don't know, I know we have such a crowded room at this very moment with D-Hop, AJ Green, as well as Christian Kirk. I think what we might see is Christian Kirk get the start from the bat, but it is his job to lose. We might see, Ronald Moore, punt returning in a 4 wide receiver set, that type of stuff. But Christian Kirk, his job is on the line. If he doesn't show up, we might see Ronald Moore come and slip in and take his position in the slot wide receiving role. So it's going to be a very exciting, story to see throughout the 2021 season. Second takeaway is going to be talking about Xavier Collins, our very first round pick for the 2021 draft. This guy looked ferocious out there. Now, the thing about him, there was nothing super spectacular. I know he went ahead and shot the gap and stopped the run play, which was really cool. I love the physicality. I love the passion and what he's bringing to this Arizona Cardinal defense. That's one thing I want to go ahead and give a big shout out to Xavier Collins for doing this game. Nothing's flashy. He didn't get any interceptions. He didn't get any fumbles, but his presence on the field was enough to say, wow, okay, that makes sense. That's the reason why we got this guy in the first rounder. I think one thing that a lot of people were concerned when we ended up drafting him was well, here we go. Here's another player that we won't see in this year. But the coaching staff as well as the front office for the Arizona Cardinals made it apparent that Xavier Collins will have a starting role in this defense. So it's very exciting to see what Xavier Collins, our first round pick, is going to bring to our defense. My third takeaway is going to be Eno Benjamin, running back that we ended up getting for the 2020 draft. Now, he was picked up in the 7th round. It was unfortunate that we didn't see him very much, with the whole situation, no OTAs, no preseason. We didn't really have an opportunity to see his talents out there, but he got an opportunity this game. In the beginning of the game, we saw Chase Edmonds, and then we saw Jonathan Ward, and then we saw, Eno Benjamin probably in the second half. But he did very good. He had 5 carries, 50 yards, and 1 touchdown. Absolutely super excited to see what Eno Benjamin can do for this offense. But I know behind my mind, I think James Conner and Chase Edmonds are going to be the main running backs that we have. But I honestly am very excited to see what he can bring to the table in case there might be some injuries in the future. He can definitely step up to the plate and see what happens. Now, one big thing in terms of how he got 50 yards, there was one play that he ended up getting 39 yards. It was amazing to see this jump cut to the left and basically took it all the way up the sideline. Obviously, he got stopped, but that was really exciting to see the explosiveness, the playmaking ability that is Eno Benjamin. So very excited to see what he can bring to the table for the offense. We might have to wait a little bit to see what he can really do in terms of a heavy workload because of James Conner and Chase Edmonds, but still very exciting to see in the preseason. My fourth takeaway, I want to go ahead and talk about Marco Wilson. Now, I know a lot of people had some really high hopes for Tay Gowan. I was happy about Tay Gowan. I think he did a very good job. There's a couple things he needed to clean up in terms of he needs to look back because he could have probably gotten called for like 2 or 3 PIs, which they didn't really call in preseason, but if it comes to regular season, that's the kind of stuff that he needs to work on. But I think he did good. But I think a standout player on the defense was Marco Wilson. This guy was everywhere. He had an opportunity to get an interception, which was really sucky to see him, drop the ball. But it was really cool to see him out there. We saw him a good majority of the time. We didn't see Byron. We didn't see Alford. We didn't see Butler at all. So he got a good majority with the first string, defense, which was really awesome to see. Yes, Marco Wilson has some flashes and some superstar abilities. I think he can very well progress into becoming a starting role. Now, as of right now, I think we have our top 3 cornerbacks right now with Byron, Butler, as well as Alford. But like I said before, if injuries happen, I'm excited to see what he can do with a little bit more development. I think he might be a starter maybe towards the end of the season, or maybe even in the 2022 season. He can very well be a starter for the Arizona Cardinals. A young, hungry, passionate young player that is wanting to take that next step. But unfortunately, he's got some veterans out there that's going to take the job before him. But he did a very, very good job. And I know there's a lot of fans from the Arizona Cardinals that is really excited to see what Marco Wilson can do in the cornerback group. And my fifth and final takeaway, the Arizona Cardinals won and beat the Dallas Cowboys from our kicker, Matt Prater. It's so good to finally have a kicker. We've been rolling with, Zane Gonzalez and, Catanzaro, and it just was a mess. The inconsistency from the kicking spot from the Cardinals was a head scratcher, but I'm really excited about what Matt Prater can bring to the table. Not only he's got the veteranness, but this guy still got a really, really good leg on him, and just sky's the limit. And obviously he came in clutch and won us the game with the Cowboys, beating them 19-16, winning our first preseason game. Now I get it. It's just preseason. It doesn't matter. But, we beat the Cowboys. That's definitely something to gloat about. Let's be honest here. There's a lot of Cowboys fans on this preseason game trying to take over State Farm Stadium. So to deliver them an L is absolutely amazing, man. So Matt Prater, welcome to the team, guy. You're just going to be as clutch as possible, and I'm really excited to see what you can bring, especially in those, very close, tight games that we need to make a clutch field goal. I have all the faith in the world in you that you're going to be able to deliver for our Arizona Cardinals. All right, everybody, so that's my 5 key takeaways. Let me know what you guys thought. If there's anything that I might have missed, put it on the comments below. Like I mentioned before, don't forget to subscribe and like the video as well. Appreciate everybody for watching, and have a great rest of your day.